and today we're gonna talk with you about how to start winning poker in short terms. And first, I want to tell you that it's impossible to beat the best poker players. It's impossible to win tons of money in short terms. It's obvious. But at least not to lose. At least start winning in short terms. Yeah, that's possible. And today I'll talk with you about it. So I have pretty big amount of students and they have some common problems. And let's talk a little about them. First, they don't know which tournaments are better. There are plenty of tournaments in different poker rooms. Knockout tournaments, freeze out, rebuy, satellites, and all that stuff. So what to choose? It's not so obvious, yeah? Next, how much money do I need to play? Do I need to have hundreds of dollars or $3,000 according to my limits? Who knows? I don't know. Then, I don't know where to play, which poker room is better. I don't know how to work with software. I don't know where to find useful information. And the most important question from my students is, how can I grow faster? Because I have regular job, I don't have enough free time to learn all that theory. So what should I do? And during today's lesson, I'll try to answer these questions. Hello, Leo. Hello, Ellie. Nice to see you. Hi, Dan. So, first let's start from the first question about types of entities, because it was which tournaments are better. So, as for me, I think that freeze-out tournaments are better. They are best. They are better than different kind of tournaments, because the rule is a player is being eliminated when all his chips are gone. And why is this type of tournament so perfect? Because in the late stages, you'll have best field. Maybe it's not obvious, let me explain. If you have a possibility to make a rebuy and you're a professional player, you are decreasing the variancy. You're decreasing the possibility that you'll be beaten by some weak guy. For example, you have aces, he had threes, and he hit his set. And you're pro and you have to leave the tournament. But you can make a rebuy. And in that case, it's more possible that you'll be finishing the tournament in the late stage. And if you'll compare, for example, it with the freeze-outs, where it's not possible to make a rebuy, yes, if you were bad beaten, okay, go to the next tournament. So I think that for newbie players, the best possible type of entity is a freeze-out. But of course, you need to know what can be different kind of tournaments. Second is a rebuy. I have already talked about it. It's where it is allowed to purchase additional chips. So you're starting, for example, with 3K chips and you're playing. And after some time, normally it's a little bit more than 1.5 hour. Yeah, in that case, you can leave till the add-on period. Add-on period means that you can buy additional chips to your stack size. Because you can make rebuys most of the time when you're busted. So you're busted and you can enter again. The second name of it is re-entry. Or you can do a re-enter. But add-on means that you're still alive, that you have some amount of chips, and you can add more. And normally I recommend my students to do that rebuys, because some of them are thinking that, okay, it's rebuy tournament for $11 and I don't have enough bankroll for it, so I'll just play with one enter. I'll not make a rebuy, I'll not make any add-ons, I'll just play. And yeah, it's possible, but it's not the best decision, just because all your opponents will be doing that add-on. And normally add-on is more than starting stack. If, for example, we'll talk about splash tournaments on PokerStars, where you have 3K chips starting stack, add-on in that tournament is 30K. So if you're not doing that add-on, probably you'll be the shortest stack. Of course, if you're not a cheap leader. And the backside of these rebuy tournaments is that you can lose a lot of money if you are not disciplined enough, and you can make rebuy after rebuy, and you can spend not one entry, but for example 12 entries. So in that case, I suggest you to stick to some rules. So if you're a beginner, just remember that you have only one possibility to make a rebuy. That's rule, one rebuy, and you have to think about one add-on. So normally, if for example the buy is $5, it will cost you $15. Be careful. And if you're a professional player, if you have a huge bankroll, in that case you can make a rather big rule for you, and you can use 3 rebuys and 1 add-on, but no more. It's important. And if you'll stick to that rules, it's less possible that you lose all your money. It's too important. Next type is a KO tournament, where you can knock out your opponents and you can get some extra value, you can get some bounty for his head. And the main difference between freeze-out strategy and KO strategy is that you need to add bounty to your opponent's chip stack for calculating pot odds. Pot odds, I'll show you the formula of that stuff. They should be compared with your equity, with the possibility to win in some spot, in some scenario. And if equity is more than your pot odds, you can call. If it's less, then you can't. So you might have a question: how can I add bounty to his chip stack? Because he has chips in his stack, and bounty is it's money, it's dollars, and you need to do some operations with it. And let me show you how to work with it. Let's say that our example is we are playing $11 KO tournaments, and you need to know that the prize pool in KO tournaments is divided into 2 parts: regular prize pool and bounty prize pool. Regular prize pool is spread between all the players that are reaching top 15 or 14% of the prize pool of the players, like in a normal freeze out. And the second part, bounty prize pool, is spread between all the players from the beginning of the tournament. And there you can even win some money and not reach the ITM zone. And in that case, if the buy-in is $11, look at the prize pool distribution. $5 are going to regular prize pool, $5 to bounty prize pool, and $1 is rake. It's taken by Poker Room. I'll tell you a little bit later about it. And starting stack is 5k chips. In that case, the formula is simple. If you need to know how many chips is $1, you just need to divide your starting stack by the bounty prize pool in the buy-in. So $1 in that tournament will cost you 1,000 chips. Just remember that, and we'll turn back to it on the next slide. But first, some questions. What kind of tournaments do you prefer to play? I prefer to play freeze-outs and KO tournaments. But yeah, sometimes I'm playing rebuy tournaments too. So I'm a coach and I have to play all the differences of tournaments, because I need to know how to play each of them. If you're a newbie player, I'll recommend you to play freeze-outs or KOs, but with that information. So let's talk about example about this $11 tournament. Let's say that you are playing small blind versus big blind. You are sitting on a big blind, and William shoves from small blind 10 blinds, 1k chips, and he has a starting bounty of $2.5. In that case, you need to know your pot odds formula. The formula is chips to call should be divided by the total pot. So what was shoved, chips to call, plus that money, small blind, ante, big blind, and KO chips. It's the main difference. So look, if we'll be calculating pot odds without KO, like we'll be playing in a regular tournament, we must have equity at least of 43%. And if, for example, we'll calculate the same in KO tournament and we are covering our opponent, it means that we have more chips than he has. In that case, look at our pot odds. It becomes only 20%. So we can call with almost every two hands, like if it will be our scenario. So be careful, guys, and just know that bounties allow you to call more than you should normally. So next type of tournament is satellite. Satellite means that you can win a ticket into larger tournament online or offline. So you don't win money, you're winning tickets. And if you're winning tickets, you can use them to play in live or online. Or it's really important that if you're playing offline satellites to some live events, you can even win in expenses too. For example, for living. So it's pretty nice. And I wouldn't recommend newbie players to play satellites. Maybe it's not a popular idea, but you need to understand that satellites, it's like a double dispersion. Because first, you need to win a ticket, and second, you need to win at least something in target tournament. So you need to win twice to get some value, to get some money from the first tournament, from the satellite. So be careful. Of course, some of you are trying to play satellites to win some big ticket, to play some big tournament and to become a second Chris moneymaker. But you should be really lucky to win that. And also you need to take into account that if you are playing a satellite into a big tournament, your opponents might be stronger than in satellites. So it will be more difficult for you to get into the money zone. So yeah, if you're playing satellites, just try to keep them according to the low part of your buying schedule. So if, for example, you're playing tournaments from $2 till $7, your satellites should be no more expensive than $5. Like for $2, for $3, it will be okay, but not more. So the next question was about how much money do I need to play entities, and you need to stick to the bankroll management. It helps us to protect ourselves from losing our bankroll, and I recommend you to start winning faster, just to have at least 200 buy-ins to play. For example, you should calculate your average buy-in. For example, you're playing tournaments from $3 till $11. So your average buy-in is like $5, let's say. In that case, your bankroll should be at least $1,000. In that case, you are decreasing the possibility to lose all your money. And also, your bankroll should be flexible. It means that if you are losing a little, and for example, after 2 or 3 weeks, you're holding only $600, you have lost 300. In that case, you need to decrease your loadings. You need to decrease your top part of loading. So just stop entering the tournaments with the buy-in of $11 and just play your mid part of the schedule. And if you're playing turbo or hyper turbo tournaments, you should be having more buy-ins, at least 300. You might have a question: how do I know that I need to have 200 buy-ins or something? There is a pretty nice website, primedope.com. I'll show you how to work with it, and we'll talk a little about dispersion in poker. So that's it, primedope.com, and then tournament variance calculator. And then you can try to calculate the possibilities in your schedule. Let's say we are playing on Sundays and we are playing high average field size tournaments. So tournaments with a big amount of participants. For example, our average field size is 3K players. The payout structure would be 14%. Buy-in is, like we have talking about before, $5. and rake would be $0.50. Our ROI, our ROI, it's how much money can we earn from our investments. For example, if you have ROI of $15, it means that if you invest 1,000, you'll get your 1,000 back and $150 more. So like you'll earn $150. It's your expected earnings. And it's not obvious that you'll get your money according to your ROI every month. It depends really. Because in 1 month you can finish your loadings with the winnings of $100, and next month you can lose $300, and the months after you can win $2,000. So it should be different month to month. But in total, in long distance, you'll be playing close to your expectations, to your ROI. So let's say that we are playing, I don't know, 80 tournaments in a month, because it's really difficult to play a lot, especially for newbie players who has their regular jobs. And let's calculate the numbers. Look, there you can see our statistical data, and we are interested in that stuff. We have a positive ROI, and with the 95% confidence interval, we will finish that month for 100 tournaments with the results starting from minus $343 till plus $2,500. So pretty huge gap between that parts, yeah? And what if, for example, we'll increase our quantity of tournaments, for example, from 80 till 400? In that case, we can lose more, it's obvious, but we can win more. Again, it's obvious. So we can finish it with the ROI from minus 60% till plus 186. But for me, it's not cool to have a possibility to lose money during my playing months. So I would suggest you to decrease the number of players. Let's say that you're playing not on Sundays, but for example during the week. And the number of players in your tournaments should be no more than, for example, 500. The same percentages of payouts, and calculating again. And look, in that case, our ROI decreasing. So it's less possible that we'll lose a big amount of money, because our ROI becomes less. So 2 points that you need to know from that website. First, you need to play low average field size tournaments to decrease the variance. And second, you need to play a lot. And you might have a question, but how can I play a lot? How can I play 400 tournaments if, for example, I am playing live, I'm playing in a casino, and I have only 1 tournament a week? So it's not possible. And the answer is you need to choose different place to play. Little questions. Give me a sec, I'll answer them. Also have a question about bankroll management. Maybe on the start of the career it's not so important. I don't think so, because if you're starting your career, it's really important to get some from it, to get some money, especially if, for example, you have a girlfriend or you have parents who maybe don't like your love to poker. And if you'll show them that you can earn here something, it will be easier to make sure them that it's not a gamble, it's like a job. And if you'll have a weak bankroll, for example 50 buy-ins, you can easily lose them. I have shown it on our slides, yeah. We can lose more than 150 buy-ins. And yeah, in that case, it will be difficult to explain to your relatives what are you doing. So yeah, I try to recommend you to stick to your bankroll from the early beginning of your poker career. A question: can I have a free trial of your course? You can try to watch our YouTube channel, to visit our videos, to visit our webinars, because we are doing them regularly. I am doing them, and also we have a second coach, Marcus, and he also tries to create some video content for you, so you can use that information as a trial. And you need to know that if you're buying our course, it's not like a subscription. You're paying it once, this amount of money, and you can watch it, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, for years, because you don't need to pay anymore. So you're just paying only once. So yeah, you can't have a trial, but you can pay once, and yeah, after that you'll be having a possibility to watch all our videos without any more additional payings. So next, the question was, how can we play a lot if we are playing in casino? And to answer that question, I want to tell you a little story about our second coach, about Marcus Mergis. He's a German player, he's from Bremen. And you know, when I was searching for a coach, when I was in Prague, I found him, because he moved to Prague, where his girlfriend is living. And we met each other, and we have an agreement that he will work in our company. And now he's our coach. And I'll tell you about his approach, about his decisions, because he started his career in offline, in live. And one day he told me that it was Easter. He was playing home games with his friends, and one of his friends said that, Marcus, let's visit, I don't know what is the name of the casino, let's play an Easter tournament. And it was easy call for Marcus, because he was fond of poker, he liked it, and they went to casino. In a casino he played for more than 6 hours. It was a one-day tournament, and it was a situation on the stone bubble. He has a queens, and it was raised from Marcus, 3-bet from his opponent. He was drunk, then Marcus shoved his queens and get called by pocket fours. And it was queen on flop, so it was really important double up before the bubble time, before the ITM zone, and then 4 on turn, 4 on river, and full house versus quads. Marcus lost his tournament. So he spent 6 hours, he didn't get anything, so he was really upset. He went home. And he tried to find out what to do, because it wasn't nice to play for the whole day and get nothing. And he decided to play online. And yeah, it was pretty nice idea, and he's still continuing playing online. He's playing a big amount of tournaments in a month. Also, you can speak with him during his live streams. If you are not first on our YouTube channel, if you have seen something before, you might be seeing his live streams. On his last gaming stream, he has won a first place in one small tournament, and also he took, if I'm not mistaken, the second place in the second tournament. So yeah, it was really cool. Just I recommend you to watch it. So now he's playing online, and the main plus of online game is that you can choose what to play. You can choose how many tournaments do you want to play. You can choose in what poker room do you need to play. So it have a ton of pluses. And also, yeah, Marcus is playing offline, but he doing it only time to time, so not always. Interesting to listen to story about Marcus. Okay, thank you. I think that Marcus will be it will be funny for him to listen it too. So let's a little speak about how online poker works, because some of you may think that live poker is better because it's difficult to cheat there, especially if you're playing big poker series like EPT or WSOP or something. But you know, there are plenty different situations where you can be cheated live. And online poker, I think it's not so bad. And let me tell you how it works. For example, we are Marcus and we are online reg player. We are winning some money from our opponents in online fields, and then we are given a small amount of rake to poker rooms. Rake is amount of money that you have to pay to the poker room for the service they are providing. If you are playing tournaments, rake is normally close to 10%. So if, for example, you are playing an $11 buy-in, $10 are going to regular prize pool and $1 is taken by room as rake. The same in cash game, but the percentages are different, but the point is the same. So you're paying some amount of money to poker rooms. So it's not necessary to cheat players if we are poker room. Poker room is earning when you are playing. The more you're playing, the more room is earning. So if they'll be caught on cheating, nobody will play there. And in that case, they must be clear, they must be fair to their players. So what are the main poker rooms today? I would say three are the most popular. They are Party Poker, 3-8 Poker, and PokerStars. And if you still don't play on that poker rooms, let me show you advantages and disadvantages of that places. First, PokerStars. It's, I think, the most famous poker room, and the main advantage of it is high quality software, because only on PokerStars nothing is lagging, client is pretty nice, you can customize the view of the table, so it's really important that you can play in a poker room that you like. Also, PokerStars are providing really high guaranteed prize pools. Guaranteed prize pool means that poker room is guaranteed that some amount of money will be paid to the players. For example, you are playing a tournament with the buy-in of $10 and the guaranteed prize pool is $100 and there are only 5 players. So the prize pool is $50. In that case, prizes will be calculated according not to $50, but according to 100, because it was guaranteed by poker room. If there will be more players than it was guaranteed, yeah, okay, poker room will earn something here. And if the quantity of players will be less than it was guaranteed, yeah, poker room must pay all that money. And on PokerStars, they can afford themselves to set these high guaranteed prize pools. It's too important. The next advantage is wide range of tournaments, because if you are a newbie player and you have not a big bankroll, it's pretty difficult to find a lot of tournaments according to your bankroll, for example, on smaller rooms like 3-8 pokers or natural 8. So PokerStars are providing the biggest amount of tournaments. But there are some disadvantages. For example, strong players, it's obvious because everybody wants to play in a high quality software poker room, and high average field size. I have shown you that point about average field size. It means the quantity of players that are playing in a tournament. So the higher field size, the more dispersion is your game. So yeah, be careful and try to mix your tournaments from PokerStars with tournaments from different poker rooms to decrease the field size. The question, if there are a lot of strong players in PokerStars, then it turns out that it's better for a beginner to go to other rooms. Yeah, as I said, just try to mix, because for example, I recommend to my students to have at least 20 or 30% of the total loading tournaments from PokerStars, just to have a chance to win a big amount of money. But you're right, the I don't know, maybe 50 or 70% of your loading should be should consist of small tournaments, and you can try to find them on PokerStars. For example, you can play multi-table sitting goals, or you can play not in prime time, for example, at the late night or in the morning. Like, what do you want? I don't know, but try to solve that problem. Or you can add some tournaments from different poker rooms, like for example, party poker or 3-8 poker. So advantages of party poker. First, overlays. Overlay means that the room is guaranteed prize pool and it's higher than the amount of money that were put in by the players. That was what I was talking about while we were talking about prize pools and PokerStars. So party poker, yeah, sometimes they are suggesting tournaments with the overlays and you need to hunt them because it's easy money for you. It increases your ROI. The second point here is rake back. We have already known what is rake back, and poker rooms are using some loyalty programs or some bonuses to give you back some money. And for example, on PokerStars, rake back now is close to 2 or 3%. So like we almost don't have a rake back on PokerStars, but on party poker it can be until 40%, and it's important, especially if you're playing cash games or if you're playing spinning goals or sitting goals, because you are generating a big amount of rake. But you need to understand that this high rake back is available only for diamonds. They have a diamond club. It's players who are generating at least $1,000 rake per week. So if your microstake is grinder, it's not possible to get this rake back, but at least you have a chance, you have a possibility to get it. On PokerStars, you don't have that possibility, and yeah, it's important. Next advantage, low average field size, weak players, I think it's obvious, and party poker live dollars, PPLs. It's really interesting that party poker, they have created their currency, and you can try to play satellites for that party poker live dollars. And you can use them not only for buy-ins in tournaments, but also to pay for the expenses for traveling, for living. And why it is advantage? Because if, for example, you're playing PokerStars and you're winning satellite to some online or on some live tournament, for example, in Barcelona or Prague, you'll be given a ticket, for example, to the main event or to the national event, and you'll have to pay for the living yourself. Of course, you can try to win the package, but still, you have to live in the hotel that was picked by the PokerStars. And if you're winning party poker live dollars, you can just bring a receipt, bring a check to the party poker live staff, and they'll approve that check, and you can use your party poker live dollars to pay for it. So we can choose where to live. You can choose a transport method. So yeah, I think that party poker live dollars are more suitable, especially for newbie players, than PokerStars system of satellites. From disadvantages, I would say unstable schedule. If you're a professional player, you have to have a schedule. You need to know what you'll be playing today, tomorrow, and in a week. And party poker, they are changing their tournaments almost every second week. So it's pretty difficult to create your stable schedule. So yeah, it's a problem. Next, 3-8 poker. Low average field size, weak players. Disadvantages also is partner of WSOP, so you have an opportunity to qualify to WSOP. It's important. Disadvantage is small guaranteed prize pool. So that's it, because of low average field sizes. And natural 8. Advantages: low average field size, weak players, many events, competitions, good rakeback system. It depends on your country, it depends on how much time do you spend on playing, but still they have a pretty good rakeback system. Disadvantages: small guaranteed prize pool again, especially if you compare it with the PokerStars, and pretty narrow schedule. But at least you can choose 2 or 3 poker rooms for you, and it's, I don't know, third rule, for example, let it be, you have to select right tournaments. You need to balance your high average field size tournaments from PokerStars with low average field size tournaments from Party Poker or Natural 8. So be careful, because you need to decrease the variance, because variance in MTTs, it can be brutal. For example, I have watched some analysis from one poker table where I found that they have played for more than, if I'm not mistaken, 100 tournaments close to zero. So if it will be not as stable, but one person, he'll be playing 100 tournaments for your whole life, and you'll be playing close to zero. And I'm pretty sure that no one in this world will still play poker if they will be playing close to zero for such a long period. So just don't play high average field size tournaments, because variance could be brutal. So how can we grow? There you can see the graph on PokerStars of our second coach, of Marcus. And as you can see, it is pretty nice. He won more than $7,000 for 8K tournaments. But starting from that point and finishing there, he was playing, I would say, close to zero for 8K tournaments. Then he started working on his theory. He started working with software. Yeah, that's his picture. And look, after starting working with his theoretical part of game, he started winning. And now his graph is much better. But look, it's really important, that's it, that he has played 15K tournaments to get his 20K dollars profit. So it takes a pretty long period of time. And if you remember, on our first slide, I have shown you pictures of questions, and the last question was, how can I grow faster? I don't have enough time to play 15K tournaments to get that money. And we can help you, because our Academy of Poker course about MTTs can solve that problem. It consists of 4 group lessons: strategy for MTTs, basics of poker math, poker software and hand review, and 2 individual lessons. And that course was created by me and Marcus. We tried to put into that course all the knowledge that you need to start your MTT career. And the main part of this course, I think, is that individual lessons. They are included. During that lessons, you can make a hand review. It means that you are marking some hands, and then you are showing them to your coach, to me or to Marcus, and you are getting a feedback about your play. Also, these individual lessons can be spent as leak finder lessons. So we can analyze your database in Hold'em Manager or Pocket Tracker or Hand to Node, whatever, and find some leaks, and also will give some advices how to get rid of that leaks. Also, we can try to use live sessions. It means that you are playing and I or Marcus are watching it, and we are telling you the truth about where you're making mistakes. It's pretty interesting, especially for recreational players. Also, we can solve your software questions. I had, again, a pretty big amount of players who were pretty pretty old if you compare them with me, and they have some problems with software because they said, oh, I'm too old for that Hold'em Manager or for that Flopzilla. It's too difficult, I don't know what to do, so it would better just not to use it. But relax and just remember that during our individual lessons you can solve the problems. We can show you how to work with all that software stuff, and it's not so difficult. It's easy and we just don't need so much time to do it. So about the prices. For online lessons, pre-flop charts and 2 personal trainings in total cost 300 euros. But this month we have an offer about some discounts and you can buy it only for 99 euros. To get it, you just need to make an application during the link at the bottom of that video. And guys, it's really important that you should pay only once. It's not a subscription. You don't need to repeat that paying month after month. You're paying once and then you're getting all the recordings of previous lessons, you are getting live lessons, and also you're getting that 2 individual lessons. All for 99 euros. So that's all for today. Thank you for coming. I hope it was interesting for you. See you in next videos, next webinars, and on our group lessons. See you, guys.